are two concerns in that from a critical point of view. It's all this positivity is great, but from the critical point of view, there are two concerns. One is this large number of applications seems a little bit overwhelming to handle and to answer. So are all these applications relevant? Because the government, the present government, has made this sort of narrative and allegations that there is a new breed of professionals. Not only the government, I think that kind of a narrative has also been heard from the judiciary itself, which says that there is a new breed of professional RTI, applicants who sort of just go ahead and file any random application and then kind of puts a burden on the system. So then from the number of applications which are filed and the number of applications which are relevant, and the pendency of 2.2 lakh cases in till last year, how do you view that? What would you what is your response to this narrative that it's a overwhelming situation?
Right. So Sanjukta, let me just clarify a couple of data points. 60 lakh per year is the number of applications that are filed across the country. And there is been a constant allegation that frivolous and vexatious RTI applications are filed in India. When we did an analysis of randomly selected RTI applications from across the country, more than 20,000 applications were selected randomly. We found that less than 1% could be qualified as frivolous or vexatious. Most of the RTI applications were asking for such basic information like a widow asking the government that, my husband passed away 20 years ago. I'm still waiting for the dues from there. Can you please tell me when those dues will be settled? An old couple saying that we had, DDA flat had been allocated to us. It's been 12 years. Now we are still waiting for the allocation letter. When will that letter reach us? An Anganwadi worker in a remote area saying that I was told I've got the job many years ago. I'm still waiting for the letter to reach me. The law is being used very, very effectively by people who have been denied their basic entitlements and rights in a system where we don't have an effective grievance redress mechanism. A lot of people were asking questions because their grievances, their complaints have not been redressed for many decades. Even
and they did not have any other avenue.
And they have no avenue, no way to get a response from the government. Our data, and it's all in the public domain, it has never been challenged by any government, including the current government. And, we have always been open to discussing. We've asked the government, we've filed RTI applications to different governments and asked that on what basis are you saying? Can you share the data with us? How do you say that frivolous and vexatious RTI applications have been filed? And every time people have been told there is no such data. So the government is picking up some singular cases and saying on the basis of that.
Why do you think so? Why is the government creating this narrative?
Sharing information is sharing power. It is not convenient for any government. Nobody wants to be held accountable. And increasingly in the last 7.5 years, we have seen that there is a culture of cracking down on dissent and questioning that has really taken wings. The Modi government in 2014.
I was going to ask you that whether the previous government's record was any better, or how would you evaluate that? So
of course there were many implementation challenges, and there were problems in implementation which we have been highlighting since the law was passed, to say that the law can be implemented better. The law is one of the most progressive legislations. So of course, that has to be granted to the previous government, that it brought in the right to information law. The implementation of it did leave much to be desired, however. And then in 2014, when the BJP came to power on the plank of anti-corruption, saying that we will promise a more transparent, a more accountable government, then what was very clearly expected was that the one tool that has helped people fight corruption in our country, which is the Right to Information Act, will be strengthened. This is really about a report card of the government on transparency.